right, my name is Akweley, Okai. Unfortunately, our time has been shortened, so I'll make it as quickly as possible. And I thank you. I pray that you get the value for which you have come here. How many of you are founders? Founder? Awesome. Thank you. I'm also a founder. I'm going to tell you a bit about me very quickly. Developers? Great. Awesome. My target market. Anyway, I am a marketer. I'm a product marketer, technical product marketer. I have been doing this for about 5 years, and I am also a tech community builder. I have a podcast called Building Bytes. You can check it out. We basically set out to talk about the stories of people who are building in a small country called Ghana in West Africa, where I'm from, and we began about 2 years ago, and so far we've been able to at least mobilize a lot of the tech community in Ghana. I'm also Technovation ambassador. For whatever reason, the screen has gone off, and I'll need him back. I'm also Technovation ambassador. If you know, Women Tech Makers by Google has transitioned into Technovation, and yeah, I also try to organize. I'm part of the GDG Accra DevFest organizers. We had our DevFest about 2 months ago, and yeah, I was able to participate even though virtually. So basically, everything I do has a lot to do with community and a lot to do with people and working with people. And I'm going to tell you how my journey has been and also what you can take out of. For this topic, AI for human confidence is so dear to me because I see AI, I work with AI all the time, and I realize that AI makes us productive. We do our work faster, it makes us efficient. The new Gemini 3, top notch. Especially, I tried to combine it with Nano Banana recently, and I got really great images, which was really great. So technology makes us efficient and everything. But when was the last time you worked with a product that made you confident in your personal judgment? Just take a minute and then do a reflection. Any product that you use that made you like, yes, I'm more confident, I'm going to step out, and anyone wants to share while he is set up? Okay, all right. So anyone wants to share? An AI product that you use that made you the human confidence. Not intelligent, not efficient, not smart. I mean, all the other adjectives, but confident. Would you like to share?
I have a friend who recommends asking ChatGPT to give me a pep talk, no breaks, all gas,
Okay.
before doing an interview.
Oh, does it work?
It seems to work, but I think it's a little superficial because it gets you up, but maybe not in the right way.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. That's exactly true. AI definitely thrives on data, and the more you give it context, the more you are able to get very relatable insights. And this is the truth. When AI fails, it doesn't just break, pause. It tells people they are broken. So this is a raw example, right? When I started off building a skincare app, which I'm going to talk to you about quickly, I realized that because of the data that has been fed it couldn't really see my skin. And for some reason, instead of me getting more confident using AI, it rather told me that I need to see a doctor, right? And it really broke my confidence. But I think this is where explainable AI comes in, where AI taps into what makes human confidence and then brings out insights that could actually be, it could actually make you confident. That's like the key aspect of it. So let's move on to the next slide. while I share with you who I am. Okay, so this is the conversation guide. Why should you even care about AI for human confidence? I'll tell you about my journey. I believe in storytelling a lot because I believe human thrives on stories. And then I'll share some lessons building the skincare tech from the technical and then from the marketing aspects, and then some key takeaways. And I'll just try and make it as quickly as possible. So let's go on. Have you ever asked yourself? Now, I keep asking you questions, just get used to it at this point. And this is to no offense. If one day I lose my eyesight, and it could be your mobility, it could be anything, or the platform that I'm building as a developer, as a founder, will this still work for me?
Yeah,
It would?
I keep asking myself the same question because my eyesight is poor, right? So at some point I will lose it. So and then I fear the systems do not support me because the reading of the screen does not work in all of the cases.
Yeah.
So what do I do? I don't know.
I keep asking myself a lot about this. You also raise your hand.
I just want to say we have to take accessibility into account.
Yeah.
In very early stage. So.
Yeah. And it wouldn't mean anything to you until you actually lose your eyesight. And the most, I think what I really fear about is when it comes to things that are physical, things that you can see, like a pavement where wheelchair can walk, or accessibility features on your phone where the screen is reading and everything. These are things you can actually see and advocate about. When you get into the situation, you can see it. This is happening maybe at a train station. There's no wheelchair at that particular an elevator or something. You can see and advocate. But when it comes to data or AI, you wouldn't see what is not missing. What is missing? You wouldn't see it until you get a rejection letter. Until, yeah, it gets on and on. In the medical industry, housing, mobility, in all these industries where AI has been built on as a layer on top of it, it all thrives on data and explainable AI. And so whatever we are building, we should always keep into consideration when these instances come into play. So a bit about myself is not really necessary, but I think it is going to touch a bit on what confidence, the kind of confidence I'm coming from. I graduated. I only have my undergrad. I'm looking to do my master's this year. I did biochemistry, cell molecular biology, which is a deep science. I worked in Noguchi, which is a research hub in Ghana, which deeply went into molecular science, DNA extraction. I did all that. And then during the COVID, when everyone was on lockdown and everything, I decided to sell skincare products, right? So that I could make an extra income. That was my primary goal. But also, I also wanted to solve a problem that I have been faced with, which is acne and hyperpigmentation for a very long time, since adolescence. That's about almost 15 years ago. And in the next slide, I'll tell you where I doubt myself. And I'm sure that each of us have also had an experience where we doubt ourselves. I've graduated working in a research lab. Sometimes I ask myself, this research that I'm putting out, am I smart enough to put that out? Humans tend to doubt ourselves a lot. And so when we are using AI products, we have to be conscious to include features that will make us confident. When I started as a business skincare owner, can I really help everyone? And look at it, even though I have a biochemistry degree, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm a dermatologist. I have to do extra work, I have to do extra learning and everything. When I transitioned into the tech space, I did product management, UI UX. I did a bit of front end with Flutter. But whenever I I put out a project, I always have imposter syndrome. And now I'm building an AI skincare technology, and I'm asking myself, am I qualified enough? And this is what happens every single time when human interacts with technology. Human confidence is built on 3 key frameworks, which is understanding, the previous slide, and then control. Understanding means, what I'm interacting with, do I actually know what's happening? Control, can I do something about it? Trust, the information, is it really accurate? And this is even more important in a place where technology has not been thriving, a place like Ghana, right? We just got into the tech bubble about 10 to 15 years ago. And now a lot of developers, a lot of builders are putting out products and shipping out products. Individuals who are going to consume these products always have to ask themselves, what you are telling me, I don't really understand it. You are telling me that your AI has computer vision. What is that? Computer has eyes or words. Like, you have to really explain into details what exactly the technology is doing for these kind of markets. Control. Now I am using an AI. You said I can take a scan and then it will tell me what products to use and all that. But where do I come in as an individual? Where do I make a decision? How do I feel that I'm in charge and the AI is not taking control of my own life? Trust. Is it really true what you're saying? This product you're recommending to me, is it really true? And this is beyond skincare. I'm just talking about skincare because that's from my own personal experience. And I think from working with the actual people who are using the products, these are the 3 key questions that people or my target market usually ask when it comes to human confidence. And this is what I want us to also think about. Your product that you are building, how can you incorporate human confidence using this framework in it? So moving on to, I'm going to talk again about the data in the skincare market. So you see this type 1 sweets, they are the palest on the planet. And the truth is, in Ghana or in Africa, most of the products, skincare products that are brought to us are imported. So I was working with a company called Oriflame Sweden. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it, but in Ghana at the time, especially during COVID, it was really popular. And because they also do a lot of research, I trust, data, I trust science, I trust research. Even though I'm not a dermatologist, I trust that because this product has been dermatology tested, it's going to work. But look at it. These are the people that it was built, the data it was built on. And type 6 is my target market. So all the other components of the skin are not taken into consideration. The melanin index, UV sensitivity, and in Ghana, there's a lot of sun. A lot of sun. So these are the details, or these are the little data that I would expect will be incorporated into current, research into skincare products. Truth is, it's not, right? Almost all the products that are imported are built on data of people, most of who look like you, right? And it's a good thing because now if we have data of people who look more like me or type 6, there will be a balance and there will be more confidence in the products that are being brought. So moving on, I'm going to show you these 3 skin tone analysis. So initially, the Fitzpatrick cis skin tone analysis was built for skin cancer. That's melanoma. And recently, or not very recent, I think Google has been doing a lot of research into a lot of different sectors, especially in skincare. So Google brought out the Monk skin tone scale, which is really efficient. However, there's still more factors, there's still a lot to be discovered when it comes to the skin. And when it comes to every other aspect where there's a human connection, like facial analysis, even hiring, any part of any industry where people would, have an end control of, there's going to be a reason why we need more diverse data or inclusive data. And the last skin tone analysis is from L'Oreal, 2040 beauty skin tone. So when there's a lot of research, researchers and developers can come together to put out products that actually work for everyone. And that's the point I'm getting to. Moving on to the next slide, you're going to see that the data that you use, you have a choice to make, right? And like I mentioned earlier, Fitzpatrick, as compared to MST, that's monk skin tone, if Fitzpatrick says Fitzpatrick 1 to 3, right, it's basically talking about 7, 8, 9, 10. Like one Fitzpatrick scale equals about 4 more skin tone. So you see that there's a lot of data that is being left sidelined. So moving on to the next slide, you are going to see that this is how it looks like in skincare, but it also differs in other industries. So you realize that, like I said, AI will tell you, oh, do it. Even when the data is overrepresented, it will be 94%. When the data is underrepresented, get this, the confidence of AI is 94%. It's confidently wrong, right? So the danger is AI doesn't know what it doesn't know. And it's up to us humans to make sure that we are putting measures to represent as many factors as possible. So these are some of the industries. I put in some, go on to the next slide. I put in some benchmarks and everything. I think I would like to share this, especially this part, but I would like to go to my lessons, the lessons that I learned from building the skincare product. So all these are ways that you can use to build a more inclusive data model. So you can take a screenshot or whatever. I'm just going to go straight to, okay, let me just use this as an analogy, just so that we can pick up on the 2 previous slides, right? So there's PBB, is basically a new model that is being developed by research. And these two are facial analysis benchmarks, ADS and IJB. Can you believe that current data works better for the lighter male? How many men actually care about skincare? And the current AI focuses on more data on the lighter male. So you can imagine how the people who actually need the solution are not getting it right. So let's go on. So let's go to the lessons that I learned. The first lesson is lead with the problem, not the solution. What I did wrong was to tell my target market that, AI, analysis, computer vision, all these technical terms. But what I learned on the job is the technical credence or credibility, the credence, it comes directly from the problem. If people don't have an emotional connection to the problem you are solving, then your technicality doesn't really matter, right? So key takeaway, if you are marketing your products as a founder, as a developer, always go on deep with emotions, and technical details will come later. The data set, the second lesson, your data set is your differentiation. I thought that because you are building on already existing ML, machine learning products, right, our data is not exceptional or anything. But what I realized was that our data set is the moat because we have data across different boards, both for lighter to darker skin. And so what I would like you to take away is document the process so that the next person who comes to use your product or who comes to take control of your data sets is able to know what is not included currently. So let's go on. The third, word of mouth. So this is a very cultural or a very specific case. If you are building products that you are looking at the whole world using, for people in Africa or people in Ghana, one thing you should consider is that word of mouth goes better than paid ads. And I basically used to think that, oh, if I get more click-through rates, then maybe my product is doing the job it's supposed to do. But I was wrong. Basically, they'll just test the app and then leave it, right? So if you want people, you have to build for retention. That's the core lesson I learned. And then I'll just go to the last two. Build in public, right? If you are in need of people to contribute to your data set because you don't have enough, ask people to give you to contribute on it. And then the last one is your personal story is your unfair advantage. And with this, I'm just going to say thank you very much for your time because my time is up. But if you have any question, you can. I'll just take one question. Can I?
No, not now.
I can't take.
Is already there, and the audience are waiting.
Okay, then in that case, I'm going to go to the first QR code. If you use Notion a lot, scan this QR code. I partner with Notion to offer founders 3 months free of Notion Business with unlimited AI. So you can scan the code. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, the previous QR code, yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll really appreciate it. And then, yeah, give me feedback on the session so that the organizers will call me again. So thank you very much for your time. Can I take a picture with this group?